Welcome to Designer Discussions with Jason, Maria, and Miriam. Today, Maria is going to talk to us about best practices of using AI sustainably in design.
Welcome to Designer Discussions Podcast with
Miriam,
Maria,
and Jason. Tune in each week where we discuss marketing, PR, and business advice for design professionals.
Yay. So today I love talking about AI, and I'm a big proponent of AI use for design businesses. But I think we need to really look at it from a pulled back perspective and understand what kind of environmental impact are we creating by using AI in our business. And so today we're going to cover that, and I'm going to do it in a very simple, easy to digest way. And we're also going to cover positive ways to still be able to use AI in our business in a really good, conscious, sustainable way, and best practices for an interior design business. So there is this quote from a movie. It's a song, and it's anything you can do, I can do better. Anything that you can do, and I think we need to look at that from AI. Anything AI can do, I can do better. And that is going to be the moral of this whole entire episode. And so we're going to go into why that's the case. And we're also going to cover some ways you still can work in AI in a way that makes everything that you do better. So humans can perform any task that AI can do with less energy than AI is currently using to perform that task. AI is going to add an entire country, a small country, to the energy use grid this year alone. So it is a very high burning energy solution to problems. And the faster the results, the increased amount of energy use is exponential. And so before you prompt, pause before you prompt. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do, and let's understand what type of energy use we're talking about. So we're going to use a measurement tool of your smartphone, the exact amount of energy that it would take for you to charge that thing up in the morning and then use it the whole entire day and exhaust your smartphone is approximately the amount of electricity that's used to create one AI generated image with stability diffusion. So the faster those results are, so stable diffusion is so fast. If you've ever used it to prompt to create an image, you type it in and it's instantaneous. And people might think, wow, from a customer experience perspective, having instantaneous results is best. But technically, it's not, okay? So if you're using a whole entire cell phone worth of energy to prompt for an image that's not accurate, that you have to reprompt and reprompt and reprompt, think about how much energy you've used to create a subpar image at the end of the day. And if you think that you're going to be in there prompting away to create all this amazing, magnificent social media content, let me dial that in for you. That is actually not the case. We're going to go into that. All right. So if we've charged up your whole entire cell phone and we are looking at AI image generators such as DALL-E and Midjourney, how many images can you create? Because both of those programs take 30 seconds to like a minute, maybe even a minute and a half to produce that image. So the difference between instantaneous and spending maybe a minute waiting for the image to get generated will allow you to produce 4 images in the charge of an entire cell phone. So if you are creating an image with DALL-E or Midjourney, you could prompt it 4 times, and you would be getting these iterative solutions. And it may only take you a few minutes, 15 minutes to get an image put together. Is that really worth it? Is the quality of the image and the application in which you're going to use it going to move your financial needle? And if the case is no, maybe you shouldn't be using it just for fun. And right now, these resources that are creating these products are bearing the brunt of the energy and water waste that is coming from using these mega scale centers where all of these data processors are. And you can look, we're going to put in the show notes about the Google environmental impact statements that they produced last year. And you can see that Google used billions of gallons of water to cool their mega processing centers. And you can see that they had a 20% bump up of water use that they had last year. And that has to do with AI and these super processors that are using a ton of energy, and they have to be cooled down because they're using a ton of energy. Then they have to be cooled down. And then so they're using water to cool down these processors. All right. So now that we know that the image generation is a huge amount of energy use, we probably are also sitting around thinking to yourself, well, but what about ChatGPT? I use chat all the time. Chat's powering Siri now. Chat is powering a lot of any of the searches that we do online, or we might be prompting ChatGPT to help us get some stuff done. And ChatGPT could be prompted 333 times to use as much energy as one image from an AI image generator. And so if you're looking at things from that high of a level of change, then you might really want to start thinking a little bit about, are these AI images really worth the impact that they're going to be creating on our environment? Especially if you are a very conscious or green interior design business, you will want to know that this is what's happening just so you don't regret it in the future. So, how much energy does it take to power AI image generators? If we use the amount of energy to charge your cell phone, it is 1 Stable Diffusion image, 4 Midjourney or Dolly images, or 333 ChatGPT prompts. And that's not including the additional water waste that we're experiencing. And these AI technology companies have not released enough data to allow us to truly know how much of something is being used. A lot of these research documentations that we're going to attach to this episode notes will just show that it's because people are watching what's being reported and noticing the differentials so that people are aware before the companies are willing to report. If the task is small and the resource you're using is performing a small task, less energy is used. That's why ChatGPT doesn't use that much energy, because it's a written task that needs a written solution. Anything that's small like that doesn't use as much energy. So if you're using AI generators to create video or create anything from scratch that's like very big and complex, you're just really using a ton of energy to perform that task. And so that's a good rule of thumb. If it's a small task and you're prompting a bot to perform that small task that's engineered to perform that task, that is going to be a smaller energy use than if you are just trying to use the largest tool out there to create something that's so random and that large tool can accomplish it. That's going to be your greatest energy use. So what are some things that you can do to be more conscious about the use of AI now that you're aware of how much energy it's using? So my rule of thumb is, first, you should ask yourself a few questions. Number 1, does this represent my portfolio of work? I like using image generators to create concept stuff for mood boards. I like using it to do a couple of tasks. But the reality is, if you're prompting it to create an enormous amount of content to flood your social media, you're probably not doing yourself justice. Does this image represent a professional buildable product that is to code? If the answer is no, you really shouldn't be putting it out there as part of your business or as part of what it is that you do, because we shouldn't be populating visuals as professionals that are illusions of what could be reality. So, question 2, does this represent a professional solution? Number 3, and I think this is the biggest one, and I think everyone is wise enough to understand why this is super important. If your referral network is professionals and they have a client and like 90% of your work is coming from architects and builders and like really high end professionals, and they look at what your current work is, and if they are AI generated images, they're going to know and they're not going to refer you. So they will assume that you've pivoted from actually completing design projects to being a content creator. So pause before you prompt, ask yourself questions, and be really conscious about it. Because the reality is a man-made diamond still valued as high as an actual diamond? And back in the day, pearls were very expensive, and now they're not. Now you can buy a string of real pearls and Target. This is going to be what the future looks like. The more you are AI heavy, the less value what you put out is going to be, especially since the social media platforms now recognize that it's AI generated for you and then tag it as AI generated when you post it. So if you're not producing original content that people are engaging with and that people are interested in, you are going to start losing the engagement that you were trying to create by posting a million AI images, right? So once again, pause before you prompt. Use AI image generators as a Pinterest. You can search. So first, search, especially when you're going to get an iterative solution anyway. You could at least start from something that's more like what you want and then just modify it. And the way you can get to the search is just go to midjourney.com, log in, and then they have Midjourney Alpha, and it'll show you every image you've ever created. And you'll have your own catalog of your own images. But if you just do /explore, you can search any image that's ever been created. So if you want like a living room or you want pink cabinets or any of that kind of stuff, all those images are there. So you can repost other people's content because none of this is intellectual property. It's also not protected as copyright, and anyone can take and knock off anything you've ever done with AI. So be careful. Don't make your logos with these programs. Don't do that kind of stuff because you have no protection. Reimagine other people's images. Once again, it'll just get you a little bit further along. And realistically, there are so many images online in their database, you probably don't even need to make a new image. You can always crop down something that you find, and you can probably get where you need to go faster too. This will actually save you time. There is also a little button that you can push that says turbo or just fast. Pick fast, okay? Fast is good enough. If it's only going to take you a couple of minutes, make that conscious decision. Don't hit turbo because you don't need something instantaneous, not at the exponential use of energy when you're just prompting something to create images and you're having to prompt it 10 times. Don't use turbo. Use the normal settings, okay? So the conclusion from this is be a conscious user of AI. Pause before you prompt. Always take the wait. If you can wait over making it faster, always choose to take the wait. AI will be spam. They're already being recognized as generated content. And if people can generate as much content, then the value of something is going to decline and decrease. And make sure that your brand does not part from what you do for work, because anything that you post online, anything that is part of your social media should be your brand, and it should be bringing you real clients. You don't want fake interaction and fake growth. It doesn't have that much value. And you also don't want to get into a place where you aren't going to be perceived as valuable even to the social media platforms, because your content is just something other people are reusing anyway. So if any of you are going to be at ASID Gather in Denver, this is for 2024, I'll be going over how to use ChatGPT and AI image generation and a really hands-on application so that you can be using it in a conscious way, make sure everything is on brand for you, and just making you pause before you decide that this is the best and only solution that you should be using. Remember, we want you to be rare. We want you to be genuine. We want you to be the most valuable version of yourself. And human contact and content is always going to be more valuable than the AI content that we're going to be seeing out on the internet.
Okay, thanks, Maria, for all this insightful information that I'm pretty sure is very new to most of us. Thanks so much. As always, if you have any questions, let us know, and we look forward to seeing you again in a couple of weeks here on Designer Discussions.
Did you know it takes 17 to 20 touch points before your potential clients recognize who you are? Is your business the one that they find first when they are looking? If not, there's a solution. The Designer Discussions Academy membership with your Designer Discussions podcast host or your personal coaches. With weekly live sessions, an exclusive community, practical resources, and expert guidance, we're here to simplify your marketing and boost your business. Sign up at designerdiscussions.com or follow the link in the show notes. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Designer Discussions and all of the helpful information. Subscribe to our podcast, leave us a review, and share it with your friends. We look forward to having you back next week. For more information on the podcast and the marketing studio, visit designerdiscussions.com and follow us on social media.